What's up, everybody? This your man Troy from the Capital Music Group. And you are now tuned in with your girl ADRI.V, the Go Getta, on the G Code.
Hello, my go-getters, and welcome back to another episode of the G Code. Can I just say how excited I am to get inside the G Code with you? You wanna know why? Because I have missed you, okay? Been off for a little bit, now we back with the jump off. Had to get on my little Kim real quick. And first and foremost, I have to say, this is me, ADRI.V, the go-getter, the creator, founder, the brainchild of the G Code, and I am so delighted that you decided to click that button and subscribe. And if you have yet to do so, you're catching this on a humbug, please make sure you subscribe to the G Code on iTunes, as well as your Google Play or any source that you may have, whether it's Podcast Addict. You can find me on SoundCloud as well as YouTube, and don't forget to download my app it's ADRI.V, the Go Getta app, and you can find it in your Google Play or in your iTunes today. So I just want to say, one, I am just so happy to speak on today, simply because, one, I created the podcast. Why? Because I wanted to be able to talk about the things that I wanted to talk about when I wanted to talk about them, however I wanted to talk about them, no matter how long I wanted to talk about it. The purpose is for me to just do me. You know, and so many times in this world, we lack the ability to do so. And I felt like this was going to be my platform to talk about the things that intrigue me most, which is what? The pretty, the ugly, and a grind to success. Because at the end of the day, we get a chance to see the glitz and the glam of everybody who are famous, people who are following their dreams. All we get to see most of the time is the finished product. Nobody really get a chance to witness and see the struggle, because so many people don't understand or want that struggle to be seen. And what I love most about J. Cole is that he said this verse that I love and I always say all the time, that there is ugliness in success. There is, because so many times when trying to be successful, you have to sacrifice so much. So many times when trying to be successful, you have to give of yourself beyond your ability to give and push yourself beyond the ability to push, even when you're tired, even when you want to give up. So today's episode is what? Well, as I embark on a new journey in my life, and when I created this podcast in August of 2015, and oh my gosh, we're coming up on a year, I created this because I was embarking on new beginnings then, because I started it in the 8th month, which is the number 8, means new beginnings, and I just felt like, oh my gosh, this is just perfect timing to do all of this, right? And the entire time I've been sharing my journey, sharing my story, as well as getting featured go-getters in here to share their stories as well. And today episode, I want to focus on, it's not too late. Yeah, that's it. You want to know what I'm talking about when I say it's not too late? Well, so many times as we grow older, and so many times as we begin to make the changes in life, we may believe that we have, one, either missed the mark of achieving the things that we wanted to achieve, 2, believe, you know what, maybe it's a little bit too late, or 3, we don't have the capacity of motivating ourselves beyond what our minds believe that we are in this position because of not taking advantage of things early on in our lives. Well, I came here to tell you today during the G Code on this Wednesday to get you over the hump is that it is not and will never, ever be too late. You see, as I am embarking on this journey for myself, and which is all about doing what I love. You see, I've always been told if you find a job you love to do, you never work a day in your life. And that was from my teacher, Mr. Wright. And you heard me reference him before in the podcast. And I will always reference him because he made such an impact in my life at a very early age, because he told me this. And when he told me this is something that rang true in my heart. In addition to that, every morning I got a chance to watch my grandfather, who was more like my father, wake up every morning to go to his own place of business that he owned. And I never forget saying this to my granddad one day. I came downstairs, making my way to go to school. And I said, "Granddad, you're going to be late for work." And my granddad so wittily said to me, baby, when you own a place, you're never late. The job hasn't been started. I was just like, wow, how amazing was that? And I got a chance to watch him work every day, sun up to sundown, and just building his own business and taking care of his family, doing what he loved to do. He was a mechanic, and he could take a car apart and put a car back together. And he will always reference his body as a car. When he needed to get a blood transfusion, he would say, I had to get an oil change. Or when he talked about, getting some work done on his car, he had to get a tune-up. He always referenced his body to a car because he loved what he did. He was engaged into it and married to it, just like my teacher, Mr. Wright, who will whistle around the classroom, painting his pictures of bald eagles or just anything and everything related with the arts. He loved what he did. And similar to my grandfather, they never worked a day in their life, right? And I vowed to have such a life as that because it just seems so fulfilling. You woke up every day smiling because you were going out to create a living for yourself and to do what you enjoy to do. And I remember working, my regular jobs, and it came a point to where I was waking up every morning. It was hard to get up in the morning, and it was really difficult to even get dressed, and I was miserable. I loved working with the children, but it was really hard to do the actual job piece because it didn't give me excitement. And, although I was making plans to say, okay, ADRI, this is what you're going to do. You're going to work this joint until, you land the gig that you want to be, which is in radio and marketing. And then you're going to leave and put your week's notices in. And, sometimes you try to create these plans for yourself. And although those plans seem not to work out exactly how you want them to be, because sooner than I plan, either you are going to make the jump, or I feel like sometimes God will push you to make the jump. And I was pushed to make it the jump because I had no choice. But along the journey of jumping, I have learned one thing, and that it is never too late. You see, Beyonce just dropped her album, Lemonade, which is all about when life gives you lemon, make lemonade. Well, I've always used that motto until not too long ago that I decided to say, when life gives me lemon, I am going to make chocolate cake, because chocolate cake is my favorite. And the obvious thing to do is to make lemonade with the lemons life gave me. But what I'm going to do is figure out how to barter these lemons, how to sell, so that I can get them mixed in the frosting to make my chocolate cake. And then I can sell that too. But, in addition to creating a way out of no way, pretty much is the message. And shout out to Beyonce for really just setting it off when it comes to the Beehive, because folks have been buying her album left and right. And, I'm going to get into that another night. But when it comes to talking about not being too late, and I hope I'm not all over the place because I'm just really excited to share this message. I'm going to run this down to you because there's so many times where we reach a pinnacle in our life and we try to go off and say, you know what, it's too late. I missed the mark, or I missed this time in my life to turn this dream into a reality, or to work on this dream, or to really make it happen. Or, I got children now, or I'm married now, and creating excuses for ourselves. And sometimes we will self-sabotage ourselves because we know we're capable, but we really don't feel like putting a work in. And so we create these excuses of saying that it's too late. And so I've realized, as I did some research, that there are plenty of people who have done things at a later time in their life, and they never allowed it to stop them. So let me just break this down for you. So if you didn't know, at the age 23, Tina Fey was working at the YMCA. At the age 23, Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first reporting job. At 24, Stephen King was working as a janitor and living in a trailer. At 28, J.K. Rowling was a suicidal single parent living on welfare. At 28, Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips was a fry cook. At 30, Harris Ford was a carpenter. At 30, Martha Stewart was just a stockbroker. At 37, Ange Lee was a stay-at-home dad working odd jobs. At 40, listen to this, Vera Wang failed to make the Olympic figure skating team, didn't get the editor-in-chief position at Vogue, and designed her first dress at 40. We're talking about Vera Wang here. Now get this, Samuel L. Jackson didn't get his first movie role until he was 46. Morgan Freeman landed his first major movie role at age 52. And the list goes on and on of many people who achieve things at a later age than we all thought they did. And so I want to say to you that whatever your dream is, it is not too late to achieve it. You see, you haven't failed because it didn't happen for you at an early age, or it didn't happen for you at the age you believed it should have, or that you had to work a job flipping burgers or being a waitress or working with some kids during the summer, that you failed. And so as I named off some of them people, Samuel L. Jackson, Morgan Freeman, Oprah Winfrey, who are some of my favorite, Vera Wang, and even J.K. Rowling, down to freaking Miss Martha Stewart. These people got their break at a later age. And it's so many times, and not even myself, I would get so angry at myself, like, man, I feel like I'm 10 years behind, or I should have done this when I came out of college, or I should have done this when I was in college, or I should have been left Buffalo and moved to New York City, or jumped and moved to LA. But you know what I am realizing in this very moment? That you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And that everything is going to happen for you at its giving time. It just may be that you didn't get those opportunities while you were so much younger than you feel you should have gotten them now, or be getting them now, because then you weren't as mature to probably handle such great responsibility, of which it will come with those opportunities. You see, I've learned and watched the NBA often, or watch the NFL, and these young boys come out of college and they are drafted into this grown man sport. Well, I'll say a young man sport, but it's a grown man sport, because you now have to walk into this place where you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars to millions of dollars to make these major decisions with your life, because at the end of the day, you're putting your body on a line, to where you're not managing your money properly. So then later on, you're on these ESPN specials as broke. But you went into the game so young, you didn't even have the maturity or the mental capacity or the actual necessary support to handle such paper as you should, to ensure that your ladder would be greater. I watch many NBA and NFL, well, I'll say NFL players come and they go. They're injured and they're playing one day, then they're injured the next, or they got a contract one moment, then they don't, or they actually have money and they're just splurging and buying whatever, and the next thing you know, you don't got a job. Sometimes we believe we should get things, but sometimes we can get them too early, that we have not matured or have the necessary support to ensure that we will handle these opportunities with care. So I talked about that because so many times I have beat my own self up to think that, man, I'm still here, local. I'm not where I want to be. I've missed the mark. Maybe it's too late. And I remember having people tell me, because I'm a woman and I have a chance of getting married, I have a chance of having children now because I'm married, that certain things won't happen for me because, it's kind of too late. You didn't get out there when you were supposed to, or you shouldn't have got married, or now, it's time for you to have a kid and just settle on down. And people would try to put these stipulations on you, and sometimes we put these stipulations over yourself, because I'm like, man, is it too late? Is it really too late? The fact that these have crossed my mind sometimes really, really boggles me, and I can't understand how the heck I'm really thinking like that. But it has crossed my mind a couple times where it's like, man, maybe it's too late. But I come here to tell you, and the whole purpose of the G Code is to understand that it's not too late. I just ran off of several names of people who are dominating their industry, dominating their field and their position. And they got their opportunities and their big breaks in the latter of their career, in the later times of their life. So who are we not to necessarily take our dreams and go forth and run for them and really turn them into a reality? Because honestly, it's not too late. It's not too late for you to go back to school to get your bachelor's. It's not too late for you to go back to school to get your GED or for you to even pursue your PhD. It's not too late for you to turn your dreams into a reality. Just because you're 50, just because you're 30, just because you're 40, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to shift and change your career. Yes, at a certain time we should be flourishing and we should be really in the steadiness of our particular field we are interested in. But who's created these rules? Who created these guidelines to say that you can't make a shift to make sure you're pursuing your dreams? Who? Please tell me. So I am here to share with you that, baby girl, dear sir, dear ma'am, my son, it is not too late for you to go after your dreams. You see, being a go-getter is all about asking, seeking, and knocking at the door of opportunity. And each and every time I get on this thing and I'm talking, when it comes to dropping G codes, those are my 3 codes I live by. Ask for the things you want. Seek after the opportunities, and knock at the door of what you have asked and seek for, because you never know what may be on the other side. And be persistent and consistent in your knocking. You see, when trying to pursue your dreams, you have to understand that you can do it. You have to understand that you have every ability to make it. And you have to understand that it is not too late. Because if Samuel F. Jackson could turn his dream into a reality, or if J.K. Rowling at 28 could make things happen for herself, as well as my man, Mr. Morgan Freeman, making things happen at 52, and Vera Wayne developing and designing her first dress at 40, you, my dear, at 15, you, my dear, at 22, at 35, at 30, 29, 40, 50, whatever age you have the capability and the capacity to do whatever it is you want to do and to go after your dreams. You just got to get up, get out, and go get it and turn it into a reality. Because guess what? What you're seeking is seeking you and is truly waiting for you. So today's G code, I'll leave this with you. Understand that it is not too late, and that you can indeed take the lemons that life has given you and you can make lemonade, which is the typical thing that everybody will expect you to do. Or you can make your cheesecake with that lemonade, or you can make your chocolate cake, in a word of me, or you can make the greatest smoothie that you will decide to do. At the end of the day, the choice in everything is up to you. I hope I wasn't too preachy on this joint. Sometimes I be feeling like I'm getting there, but I just want you to be motivated. I just personally feel that in this world today, so many people are miserable. We're dealing with the next presidential election, which is getting very ugly. You know, we're dealing with the killings left and right, the shootings, things that are crazy in our communities, and we're losing people, and young girls are dying due to fighting in a bathroom. So much is going on that sometimes we forget that life is so precious. And understanding that life is so precious, why live a life that is not one that you care for? Why live a life that every time you wake up you're angry? Why live a life that every time you get up you are just not satisfied with who you are and what you're doing? So today I encourage you to change it. Today, I encourage you to understand that it is not too late. Today, I encourage you to ignite the flame and a fire of somebody else who has a desire but has not quite molded the way they should. Continue to push them, continue to pray for them, and continue to pull them forward as you continue to climb and go after your dreams as well. Because guess what, baby boy, baby girl, as I said it before and I'll say it again, it is indeed not too late So get up, get out, go get yours, and turn your dreams into reality. And in the words of what I say each and every night on the radio, or you will forever work for someone who did. I love you so much for listening. Thank you so much for getting inside the G Code. If you like what you heard, please make sure you subscribe. If you don't even like what you heard, hey, don't worry. I got other folks who are going to be on here too. So still subscribe to the G Code on iTunes, as well as any kind of podcast streaming application, my app, which is ADRI.V, the Go Getta, on SoundCloud as well as YouTube, and show and share and love on me by leaving a review and letting folks know how this message has impacted you. And oh yes, I'm going to be coming back with some featured Go Getters on next week, so make sure you stick around because you never know when it is going down. It's me, ADRI.V, the Go Getta, inside the G Code. So subscribe and remember, and always welcome to the G Code.